Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, tuning in from around the world. My name is Supatease, and I'm going to be bringing you a very rare treat, a Restoration Druid guide. Currently, at the moment, Resto Druid is on the weaker side, as its mana regeneration has been nerfed, its healing output has been nerfed, and its overall durability is much lower. In this specific composition, I am playing with an Enhancement Shaman and an Arms Warrior, or more formally known as Turbo Cleave, and I would suggest this as a composition for Restoration Druids, as the Arms Warrior brings a lot of stability, the Enhancement Shaman brings a lot of support, and it kind of shores up some of the weaknesses that Resto Druid innately has at the moment. And in this specific guide, I will be going against a quite common composition, a Shadow Priest Shaman, in this case with an Assassination Rogue. So before the game starts, what do we really need to take into account? Well, we need to take into account Vendetta from the Rogue, a 2-minute cooldown that I track on my Omni bar at the bottom of the screen. When you see Kidney Shots, an icon that will also appear on the Omni bar on my screen, it's likely to be paired with a Vendetta, so you always want to be looking at both Kidney Shots and potentially Vendetta. That is the biggest threat that this opposing team has, and during that moment you want to use powerful defensive cooldowns. So this may be your Bark Skin for yourself, Astral Shift for your Shaman, or Die by the Sword for your Warrior, and you want to be looking at the pace of the damage coming out and calling those cooldowns ahead of time. Against an Assassination Rogue, you want to be playing 40 yards away. This is to avoid Shadow Step Kidney Shot. I use Ursul's Vortex at the start to suction the Rogue and Shadow Priest together, cleaving extra damage and denying the Shadow Step for a few seconds. Here we see Kidney Shot committed and Vendetta used slightly into the stun. So during this point, my Warrior Heroic leaps back and uses Intimidating Shout. So you can use crowd control as a way to mitigate Vendetta. But as the Rogue used his Gladiator's Medallion to remove it, it means he's going to continue attacking me, and I now need to trade Barkskin. It is at this point that I've realized that Tree of Life was not on my action bar, and I was expecting this team with a Shaman and Shadow Priest to be purging and being very difficult to heal through the opener. So I took Tree of Life combined with an Honor Talent Nourish, so you can see during this moment when I'm being purged, he can only remove 1 heal over time effect, while I'm applying 2, since Regrowth becomes instant cast in tree form. During that time when the Shaman was getting cheeky and trying to kill me, my team managed to pull Dispersion because the Shaman wasn't healing for such a long time. Now note my positioning. They have repositioned away on the opposite side where I started. This means I now need to shift to the opposite side and do my best to stay close to 40 yards away from the Rogue, and this is to avoid Shadow Step Kidney Shot. And I can see the Rogue walking towards me, so I use Ursul's Vortex, stacking both the Rogue and Shadow Priest together and denying a Shadow Step for a few extra seconds. It's at this time that I focus on keeping my heal over time effects and really trying to maximize that distance, because you just want to deny the Shadow Step as long as possible. In this position, I should have shapeshifted Bear Form, but because of my positioning, they couldn't all stack on me immediately, which allows me more than enough time to survive the stun. Once you have survived a stun, you want to use Frenzied Regeneration to recover your health. Now, after recovering through the stun and their attack, I initiate crowd control with Bash on the enemy healer, which my partner then follows up with a casted Hex. It's always a really good idea to tell your team who you are stunning and when, so that they can come up with some potential follow-up. And with that crowd control chain, we managed to pull a lot of powerful cooldowns from multiple members. In this position, I knew I was going to be blinded with no trinket, and because of where the Rogue was, I told my Shaman to use Astral Shift before that attack even happened, because in that situation, if you trinket a stun during Vendetta, you are likely to be blinded later and your partners will die. They will need to use defensive cooldowns preemptively if they do not have their own Gladiator's Medallion. So you're tracking the Rogue's position throughout the fight, maximizing the distance so your team has time to react and trade cooldowns for Vendetta. And by keeping this maximum distance and heal over time uptime, you will just be able to attrition the enemy team, drag it out until you finally burst down the target, meaning the Shadow Priest, and you can apply this to a lot of these Shadow Priest compositions by just avoiding the fight and trading your cooldowns effectively. So I hope that this guide was of some use to you. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, my name is Supatease. Please consider subscribing to the stream and hitting the notification bell. I also stream on twitch.tv/Supatease, where I do live commentaries, rapping, singing, a lot of shenanigans. So if you want to check that out, definitely please do. And I will see you on the next video. I'm making a guide every day. Peace out.